Hey, Midlothian Bible Church family, you guys are still missed. When I was growing up as a young man, I often heard my mom sing these words around our house. It went like this: this is the day that the Lord has made, We will rejoice, and be glad in it, Those words were often sung in the morning as an attempt to stir my sister and me out of bed. So it was not always received well. I did not realize that as a child, though, that those words are more than just a hymn, but those were words from the book of Psalms. It's a psalm of thanks, from Psalm 118 to be exact. Originally, it was giving thanks for God's steadfast love and his deliverance of his people from the opposition of man. But it would later be sung by other Jews during the celebration of their various feasts of worship. Jesus also likely sung it as he celebrated the Passover feast on the evening before his crucifixion. But it was also sung by my mother in a little house located on 2162 Cathedral Avenue in Cincinnati, Ohio, 45212. And a little boy, me, heard those words. And seeds of truth were planted in my heart. The truth that there is a reason to give thanks to God. Even when I was tempted to fear because of the opposition of man or the opposition of living in a fallen, sinful world, I could rejoice because God, my God, is the same one whom the Israelites gave thanks to, saying, like in verse 4 of chapter 118, "Let those who fear the Lord say, his steadfast love endures forever." Or as it says in verse 6, "The Lord is on my side, I will not fear. What can man do to me?" Or as in verse 8, "It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in man." Or as it says in verse 13, "I was pushed hard so that I was falling, but the Lord helped me." Starting in verse 21, "I thank you that you have answered me and have become my salvation. The stone that the builders rejected had become the cornerstone. This is the Lord's doing. It is marvelous in our eyes. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." The God who made such deliverance and rejoicing among the Israelites possible in that particular situation is our God. His love is still steadfast. He is on our side. His refuge is still available. He has and is and will accomplish much for us to be able to say, "This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." As I grew from a child to a young man, those words my mother sung, those inspired words of God in Psalms 118, began to be sung by me when facing anxiety and fear. As those feelings tried to gallop through my heart, I sung those words. This is why I love the Psalms. The Psalms are possibly one of the most widely used in the books in the Bible. No doubt because it explores the gamut of human experiences. The topics include jubilation, war, peace, worship, judgment, messianic prophecy, praise, and lament. The Psalms are easily relatable to. Matter of fact, during 2005, 2006, I took the time, by the urging of others, to journal through the Psalms for my personal devotion and worship to God. And recently I even went back and I looked at those and looked at some of my thoughts and things that I gathered from that time. And so I thought in this season that we are going through, marked by anxiety, fear, and uncertainty, I wanted to begin a series of video posts entitled "A Psalm to Calm the Soul." So myself or another leader in the church will share a psalm or a portion of a psalm accompanied by some devotional thoughts. And the purpose is to focus us all back to the worship of our God, the same God of the God of Israel, who has and is and will accomplish much for us to be able to say, "This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." So join us throughout the week as we share a psalm to calm the soul.